Vaporwave, synthwave. Between these two genres is a gray area, a place in between the distortions of vapor and the chords of the synth, a place between sleeping and waking. This gray area had humble beginnings. It made a splash in the mainstream before returning to supposedly eternal slumber. Or so it seemed. Because 10 years ago, this genre's odyssey really began, thanks to a little album by a humble composer featuring one big track with a lot of resonance.
Hi everybody, I'm Soul Search and Destroy, and this is the history of Chillwave, where it came from and why it's so nostalgic.
The term chillwave was first coined in the late 2000s, the same era when C-punk, vaporwave, and synthwave were first gaining traction online. Originally, it was a so-called micro-genre of electronic music, meant to evoke the soundtracks and early synthesizer music of the 1970s and early 80s. It overlapped with fellow microgenre synthwave, which drew similar inspiration from music of that era. But there were key differences. Whereas synthwave borrowed more from the electronic music composition soundtracks of that era, such as those composed by Vangelis, John Carpenter, or Jan Hammer, chillwave was considerably less high energy. Whereas synthwave was big, grand, dynamic, and epic, and a little dark, chillwave was gentler, mild-mannered, and down-tempo. Think of it as a downer rather than an upper. It was usually recorded at low fidelity with plenty of reverb. Some artists would even go a step beyond and use vintage instruments and synthesizers in their compositions. The songs were reminiscent of other genres of a bygone era. There were psychedelic elements, had a little bit of shoegaze, a dash of modern indie music. Chillwave is perhaps the modern iteration of the once-forgotten dream pop of the 1960s. It's no wonder, then, that sometimes chillwave is known as dreamwave or hypnagogic pop, alluding to dreams and peaceful sleep. All of these factors combined to create what is now referred to as the Summer of Chill, a halcyon period in 2009, closing out the glossy and future-obsessed 2000s with a heavy dose of soft and sensitive electronic romanticism. Nowadays, we can describe chillwave with the following traits. Low to mid-tempo, primarily consists of synthesizers and drum machines, though live instruments are possible. Bittersweet in tone. Reverb and effects processing are heavy, usually, but not always, in a minor key. Low fidelity sound quality, and vintage or analog sounding synthesizers. Chillwave is one surface of a many-sided coin that is the vaporwave family. Like vaporwave and synthwave, chillwave was born out of a desire for better days. It was created as a response to the global recession brought about by the housing crisis of 2008, a crisis that created a chasm between the haves and have-nots, one that has yet to be remedied as I write this. Chillwave was meant to ease the anxieties of the collective by use of distant, faded, yet familiar sounds, intentionally invoking the ultimate form of homesickness: nostalgia.
There was a really big stigma towards chillwave. A lot of critics absolutely hated it. I think this has to do with the fact that it was ultimately an indie genre. Back in the 2000s, it was all about embracing modernity and looking forward and seeing technology as our savior. Why would anyone want to look back? Nowadays, embracing the analog and going into traditional photography and traditional music and analog instruments, that's all seen as cool. We actually put filters on to make things look old and aged. We invoke old technology all the time now as a reaction to how ultra modernized everything is. Back then, it wasn't cool to look back. It was all about looking forward and being as futuristic as possible. That's a big part of why chillwave was so hated. It was nostalgic, and nostalgia was not cool.
Of course, the summer of chill couldn't last forever. A short time later, sites such as Wikipedia and mainstream music critics proclaimed chillwave to have lost popularity, with musicians and pioneers such as 𝗃𝗏, Neon Indian, and Washed Out having since abandoned the genre for greener pastures. By 2013, they proclaimed chillwave was dead. It wasn't. Its best days were yet to come. On July 1st, 2014, Randy Goff, also known as Home, released his second album, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏, featuring some of the most instantly recognizable chillwave tracks ever made, most notably Resonance. The instant fame of Resonance marks the beginning of a new era for the internet and for music. Chillwave may have been ignored by critics in the outside world, but gained immortality online. Resonance, to this day, is considered a gateway drug for chillwave, synthwave, and vaporwave. Once you listen, you have no choice but to fall into the rabbit hole. Since then, the genre has seemingly exploded. Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and even Spotify are flooded with talented composers, trying their hands at chillwave's distinct, hazy, and lo-fi sound. These artists contribute to the genre at every opportunity, adding their own little elements to the healthy musical ecosystem. Hello Meteor, for instance, has devoted their entire discography to chillwave, meant to evoke weather, climates, times, and places set in nature. Zayn Alexander and Allison have a cosmic and interstellar flair. Duet adds adult and yacht rock elements for a distinct cosmopolitan sound. 𝗦𝘂𝗧𝗏 has a sci-fi edge. Oddling's discography is one with the universe. Memorex Memories has a narrative, storybook quality to his songs. And Betamax famously used chillwave to tell the bittersweet tale of the 1984 Winter Olympics. Girlfriend Records, Stratford Court, Midwest Collective, Huguette Sounds, and especially Electronic Gems continue to release compilations and introduce new artists to this growing and ever-loving fold, promising the world that there will never be any shortage of chill. When chillwave first hit the scene, it was seen and treated ironically. Mainstream critics saw it as a trifle, and some artists looked upon it with contempt, deriding its openly nostalgic sounds. Some even claimed that it wasn't a true genre, that it didn't exist and never would. They were wrong. The joke was on them. For now, we are entirely surrounded by nostalgic content in the mainstream. It is now the cool and trendy thing to pull from the past. Meanwhile, it was chillwave, overlapping with synthwave and vaporwave, that heralded the future we live in now. Some claim that the genre's best days ended in the mid-2010s. But no, this is when chillwave's life had truly begun. Although the summer of chill came and went, chillwave lived on into the turbulent 2010s and beyond, a savior for those in need of some sonic escape. As I write this, the collective is still in need of soothing, of calming down, of chilling. And while we are offered a plethora of means to cope with the anxieties of modern life, chillwave remains one of the more positive and effective. Because music is a means of unlocking memory, or forging new ones, is one of humanity's best gifts. Chillwave is now one of the most popular subgenres on the internet today. Some of the most popular music mixes online primarily feature this special breed of ambient synth music. Even on my own channel, Soul Search to Destroy, the mixes I've made that have garnered the most views and continue to be commented on today are primarily chillwave. Look, I can't tell you guys how many times I log in and I see the same mixes get new comments every single day. It's wild. And on a side note, thank you all, it's really nice. Outside the internet, alongside synth and vaporwave, chillwave is finding its way into popular culture and music. It's hard not to hear a slight influence in contemporary artists, such as Tame Impala, 𝗏𝗃, and Tycho. It's subtle, and maybe not super noticeable, but it's there. I think it's more than just pretty music that listeners are looking for. As in 2008, it seems that the need to relax, to feel at peace, hasn't gone away. Times are stressful. We're being hammered non-stop by a never-ending stream of social media and news, and frankly, it's making most of us a little wacky. It's easy to fall back into the comfortable but dangerous trap of nostalgia to make ourselves feel better. How easy is it to rely on a seemingly better past when we're constantly being told to fear the future? But Chillwave hits that sweet spot. Yes, it uses old-school synthesizer sounds and embraces lo-fi. Its tone and compositions are inherently nostalgic. They are built to touch that homesick part of us that longs for something familiar. But these are the products of today. This genre was, and still is, being created by people who live in the here and now with us, who make music not just to recreate a hazy past, but enable others to forge into the future. The peace of mind, the happiness this music gives people, is the antidote for unproductive fear. It's a soundtrack to those who are willing to make peace with their feelings. And that can never be a bad thing. Chillwave artists, while still pulling from the past, are not chained to it. They're forging ahead, continuing to set trends for a future that, just as it had in the past, and does in the present, will need just the right soundtrack to feel a little calmer, a little cooler, a little more peaceful, and a lot more chill.
So that's it. There you go. The history of Chillwave. So what do you think? Do you love this genre? Where do you think this genre is gonna go? Do you have a favorite artist or album within this genre that you would love me to talk about? Do you have an album you want me to review, or do you want me to reach out to any of these artists and maybe talk about their music? I'm all ears. Let's go. So don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notification if you want more videos about the history of subgenres like all the waves, vaporwave, chillwave, synthwave. There's always more. And stick around because I'm going to be reviewing 𝗦𝘂𝗽�57 by 𝗏 very soon. So thank you all for stopping in. And remember, it's not about the destination, it's about the voyage.